Hello boys and girls, it's time to celebrate, because this is my first YouTube anniversary, more or less. But it means, it's been 1 year since I started doing YouTube videos on this channel. Time to celebrate. So in this video, I want to do two things. First of all, I want to say thank you. And I want to give you a lot of cool free stuff. All the free stuff from last year and some new free stuff. IRs, drum samples, multitracks. You'll be able to download all that stuff later in this video because you like free stuff. And I want to say thank you. I'm grateful. I started roughly 1 year ago with, I think, 300 subscribers, and now it's more than 27,000. Freaking amazing. So I'm grateful, and I'm trying to give you something back because I was having a lot of fun that year, and a lot of cool things happened. And that is the other thing I want to do. I want to look back at 1 year of Kohle on YouTube, and I want to revisit some of the coolest videos and show you a little best of. Let's do that now. But let's talk about the free stuff first, because I know you love free stuff. So let's start with this one. Who remembers my snare sample? That infamous snare sample, that one-shot snare sample that I recorded over there in an empty room when we were building our new second control room. That sample sounds so cool. Let's have a look at a snippet of that video. Boys and girls, let's do something crazy. Let's start hitting things. I just bought this lovely pearl free-floating snare, used from the 90s. 6.5 inch deep, very heavy, steel snare drum. Way too heavy for a tiny man like me. We're now entering the beautiful building site. Let me go here to show you what the room looks like. This will be turned into a new control room next week. Yes. Very nice at the compressor. Yeah, why not? Pretty roomy, vibey sounding sample. That sounds so good. If you like that sample, you can download it later. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, and that free floating snare drum just sounds so cool. If you can get your hands on a free floating from the 90s, doesn't matter if it's a steel or a brass or whatever, they all sound pretty fucking amazing. Get one. Next video, wait. What about the Kristian Kohle IR? That was an IR of a V30. Kind of great sounding IR. Very balanced sounding IR, but just check it out. It's a great sounding IR. And I think I used the power amp of a La Boga Mr. Hector to capture this IR. Anyway, Kristian Kohle IR sounds great. You can download the Kristian Kohle IR later as well. What else? The raw kick drum samples from my Yamaha recording custom. I did that video where I was showing how to prepare your kick drum, how to tune your kick drum, how to mic your kick drum for a great rock and metal tone. And you should watch that video. So here's a setup that I used for recording my Yamaha recording custom 22-inch kick drum. And these are the samples you can download. You will get 4 tracks. This is the main track inside the kick, recorded with a Audix D6. That would be my main kick mic. Then we have an alternative, and that is the Shure Pressure Zone mic in the same position. That microphone has a lot of mids, but somehow they are the right mids to be mixed in with, for example, an Audix mic. They're really useful. Finally, we have a Rode tube mic in front of the kick. Sounds like this. It's also giving you a hint of the room. Let's mix this one in. Starts sounding like a real kick. And finally, we have the room. Let's mix it in. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I will be putting a lot of links up here and down there so you can revisit those videos or watch them for the first time if you haven't watched them yet. There was more stuff, right? Yeah, what about this one? Just from 2 weeks ago, when I had Julien from Benighted here, and we were checking out a lot of vocal mics. You can still download the multi-tracks of that session. That sounds like this. And you know what? You're gonna get something new as well. I want to give you another IR, something you could not download before. Do you remember that video when I was trying to make the worst speaker in the world sound great? At least that speaker is my enemy. It's the Celestion G12T75, the one you find in Marshall 1960A and B cabinets. And my speakers are from the 90s, so they are very old, but they sound pretty shitty. Nevertheless, anyway, I was trying to make that speaker sound great with a lot of mics and a lot of EQ. And I turned this into an IR, but I never gave you that IR. So now today I want to give you that IR. So let me quickly show you the IR. You know, I revisited it and I didn't like it a lot back then. Now when I played it again after almost a year, I thought like, yeah, it's usable, especially because it sounds interesting and not like your typical V30 IR. So I'm quickly going to show you how this sounds. So I'm playing a Tube Screamer plugin into the Neural DSP Omega. I haven't even touched the amp. And I loaded one of my DV77 IRs. Sounds like this. That sounds balanced, upfront mids, you know. That's a DV77 Angry. That's the fat one, fat IR. Now let's switch to the 75 watt speaker. Scooped as fuck. Where are the guitars? Sounds so 90s. So quite the opposite of your mid-forward sounding DV77 or Vintage 30. But hey, that's interesting and cool for some vintage, you know, 90s brutal tones or something. Scoop tones. It's kind of cool. So I got two versions, two IRs. You can download two IRs. One is called the Fat Scoop, this one. And that one went through the power amp of my Brunetti. And then we have another one. Which sounds a little thinner and more aggressive. That is the Seymour Duncan solid state power amp. With less coloration. Slightly boomy, the Brunetti. Yeah, if you want to dive back into the 90s, into Scoop land, check out those IRs. They're for free. So how do you do that? What you have to do is, basically, you have to sell your soul to the devil. That means you have to sign up to my email list. You know, but you get a lot of free stuff. And also selling your soul to the devil is very heavy metal, as we all know. So you better do that. Anyway, there's a link below there's a link below to my email list. You subscribe to my email list. That's the first thing you do, okay? Then you will get a final confirmation email at the very end of the process. And in that email, there's another link. And that link goes to my Discord channel, where there's already, I think right now, something like 300 people. And that is a very cool place. And we talk about metal and gear and mixing and recording. And everybody's nice. And I want you to join. And if you join that Discord channel, there's also a section, upper left side. I still don't understand Discord, by the way. Upper left side, where you find all the links to the free stuff. Have you understood that? So sign up to my email list, wait for the final confirmation mail, click the Discord link, and there are all the different links to all the free stuff, including the new IR. Okay, you got it? If you don't understand this, I'm sorry. But let's talk about the very first video. That was the very first real video on my channel. It was a product video. And you guys know I'm not doing a lot of product videos. I'm trying to stay away from that because it can get creepy easily. That was a video about a product I love, and that is RX8 from IZOPTOE. So here's the link to that video, and I was showing a lot of cool stuff. Maybe we can have a look at a snippet. Hey there, everybody. Today I want to talk about my favorite gear. Because I like talking and I like gear. Makes sense, right? Here we go. So that was the riff, and you were already hearing the repaired version. But let's have a look at the individual tracks. So you can see there's 2 rhythm guitars left and right, 2 lead guitars, and 2 bass tracks. The bass tracks are just duplicated. It's 1 track for the distortion and 1 for the low end. The drums are entirely programmed. We have some problems in the guitars and in the bass. First of all, the rhythm guitars are clipping. Someone didn't pay attention to the levels when he was recording. Secondly, we have some noise in both the guitars and the bass. And finally, we got some artifacts to be removed. Let's see if RX can help us here. Let's just start with the clipping. Let's have a listen to those guitars here. So you can clearly hear they are clipping. There's a plugin called RXD Clip. And it's the most idiot-proof thing you have ever seen. It looks like this. I haven't even touched it. The quality is on low. Let's have a listen. And this is nothing but fantastic. The clipping is simply gone. And yeah, if this wasn't drastic enough for you, have a listen to this file here, which is totally clipped. Awesome. An instance of declip. Nothing but mind-blowing, right? This has saved my ass so many times. The next milestone was the bass video. If you want to know something about recording or about dialing in a great modern metal dangle 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 bass tone, check out that video. If you're not into dirty bass tones, don't watch this video. It makes no sense. Because today I will give you a lot of information about how to record a bass guitar and how to make it sound brutal. I will actually show you exactly how to dial in this tone. Beautifully dirty, right? Lovely. And I was using Mammoth, a plugin from AURORA DSP, which is also great to show you, how to dial in a great metal tone. Check that video out if you want to sound dang 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 dang. Yeah, I was overwhelmed by the feedback of that video. I remember that was so cool, and so many people checked out Mammoth because I included my own preset with my own IR, so it was pretty much plug and play, dangle dangle dangle. A lot of people love that video. Thank you very much. Check it out. There has been a link, or there is a link now. That was the bass video, still one of the most successful ones on this little channel. Next milestone, that was for sure the video about my beloved EMINENCE DV77 speaker. I remember that I got in touch with EMINENCE about reviewing some of the other speakers, the Governor and the Man of War and the CV75 and the Swamp Thing. So they sent me some of their speakers, and then they told me, hey, we got this new speaker coming in a collaboration with Mick Thompson from Slipknot, and it sounds like a V30 but warmer and blah blah blah. You want to check that one out? And I was like, yeah, why not? Okay. And it took them forever to get the speaker here, or it didn't really work. And in the end, I think the European distribution guy from EMINENCE, he sent me his personal speaker. I still only have one. I checked out that speaker and fell in love with it. Great speaker. So then we started talking about maybe doing some IRs, because I was checking out the IRs available at EMINENCE Digital, and I felt like, hey, I can make some IRs that sound more metal. And that's what we did. And we ended up with my first product. And that was the EMINENCE pack, which again was freaking overwhelming, It was how so many people loved that got back to me, bought that product, got back to me saying like, greatest IR pack ever. Instead of 150 shitty IRs, there's just 15, but they all sound good. Also, like, a lot of famous musicians and producers bought it that I can't talk about. Yeah, but when I was in touch with Nolly, he also told me he bought it. When I was in touch with Fluff, he said me he's using the IRs live. So that was cool. Check out that pack, buy it, make me rich and famous. So that was the DV77 video. Let's check out the song I did with it. Here we go. Boys and girls, I'm on fire today. This is gonna be a fantastic video. I'm on fire because I want to show you my new favorite guitar speaker. That means the Mesa Boogie Voice Celestion V30 finally got some competition. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Slipknot Mick Thompson signature guitar speaker from EMINENCE, the DV77. All the guitars you just heard in that little intro were recorded through the DV77. Even the bass, like one of the bass tracks, the high gain bass track, went through that speaker. A lot of DV77. And then, next milestone, at some point I started doing interviews. And the first interview is still the most popular video on this channel. And that was the interview with Ignacio from Jensen Speakers. Such a cool guy and such a smart guy. You know, there's nobody in this world who knows more about guitar speakers than him. So again, if you want to learn something about guitar speakers, check out that video because Ignacio is amazing. And Jensen also makes some cool speakers. Some real sleepers, you know, everybody plays Celestion. So that is a great, great video. And that was the first interview I ever did with somebody on this channel. Let's get started with a question. So okay. I'm gonna start with a few, I guess, simple questions. One question is from me. In my experience, especially with vintage 30 speakers, I feel like the 16 ohm version of the same speaker sounds brighter than the 8 ohm version. And I don't know if that's true or if that's just a coincidence. And I don't know if that's a Celestion thing? So if you have the same model with a different impedance, do they sound the same or not?
They don't.
Why?
Actually, the higher the impedance is, the lighter the moving mass of the speaker is, because the voice coil is wound in a different way, so the voice coil is lighter. So being the voice coil and the membrane lighter, the speaker will be slightly more efficient and slightly clearer, slightly brighter.
Because it is faster, or?
No, it's not that it moves faster. It's one of the many balances that happen into a speaker. The lighter the membrane, the more efficient is the speaker. So it will be, we are talking about fraction of dBs, maybe 1 dB, and only in certain frequencies.
Okay.
But as a general rule, the higher the impedance, the brighter and the more efficient the speaker is. So the 16 will be the brighter, the 8 will be, let's say, in the middle, and if you have a 4-ohm version, that will be significantly darker and quieter.
And then I had the next interview was with Fluff, and we were talking about rectifiers. Also a nice video. Have you checked that one out? So if you want to know something about the different rectifier revisions, there are actually 2 videos on this channel. One interview with Fluff, because he's an expert and a real rectifier nerd. And then there was another video where I was comparing my Road King 2 with my old 2-channel rectifier. That's also a nice video. So many cool videos to watch. Yeah. And then the third interview was even more nerdy. That was truly nerdy. That was the interview with Nolly, and we only talked about Celestion Vintage 30s. So if you want to know why there are different versions, or why there aren't different versions, or the whole history of the V30, you want to check out that video. What are the golden years?
Right. Yeah, like what's the golden era of speakers? Like, so for me, it is about, so it's important too that these are the date codes on the speakers, not the age of the cab, because a company like Mesa Boogie probably has a warehouse full of speakers. They're probably still using them a year after they were made, kind of thing. So speaker codes, if you can date them to like 2000 up till 2003 seems to be, for me, the sweet spot in terms of high gain sounds. Before that, still sounds really good. But what happens before is they are a bit airier sounding. They have more extended top end and a little bit less mid-range. So they're a little bit more scooped, a little bit more glassy. It's almost a bit more greenbacky. Now, they're not harsh. They tend actually to not be as spiky, like in terms of having sharp whistles. But they do sound a bit more kind of old school to our ears.
And then finally, one thing I'm very, very proud of is, we got it here, is the Grindstein pedal. So I think I did 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know, Grindstein videos on this channel. The very first Grindstein video was actually before I had my own channel, and it was on Scott's channel, Scott Elliott's channel, the Chernobyl Studios channel. But there were some follow-up videos about the Grindstein on this channel. I think I even have a playlist on this channel, a Grindstein playlist, right? I think so. And yeah, last month in September, we released a plugin version of this one. And that video is also great because, it symbolizes what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make metal sound a little more ugly again and less generic. And this video stands for a bunch of videos that I've been doing in this year. I did a video about blending distortion with fuzz. Do you remember that one? That's a good one. And a few other videos who were mainly about, hey, how can we get some more inspiring, dirtier tones? I think the Grindstein is still, like the plugin is still the easiest way to get really fucked up tones fast. Let's have a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Grindstein plugin. Yeah, but that was my mission last year, to make metal a little less generic. So I think you will find at least 4 different videos about that topic. Me blending stuff, me trying to... Yeah, I was checking out the Jupiter pedals, you know, just some dirty shit to inspire you not to sound like everybody else. Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more like this. But what I want you to do now is, please let me know what you want me to do, you know. I actually want to do less guitar videos and a little more mixing and production videos. Because, you know, I'm coming up with my own academy, the Kohle Audio Cult, a very dark and evil place. If you want to learn something about recording and mixing metal, this will be cool. Like a no bullshit, no bling bling place for learning something. And yeah, I think I want to do a little more mixing, like mixing techniques, and a little more recording, not only guitars. But guitars are cool, of course. But you let me know what you want me to do, you know? Now the channel is growing. That means I'm getting contacted by more and more companies who want me something to do. But, you know, it's not the companies that should decide what I do. It's me and it's you, the audience, okay? I just want to say thank you one more time. I'm being totally honest here. I'm really overwhelmed by the feedback of the last year. It has been a fantastic trip. I would have never expected to end up doing so many YouTube videos and to having so much fun with it. I'm really having fun here, and that's the best part about it. And I'm always trying to be honest, and I'm trying not to make jokes, because remember, I'm German, okay? No jokes on this channel. It was a pleasure, right? And hopefully I will be here for a few more years. And I hope that you will keep on supporting me. If you haven't, please subscribe to this channel and tell your grandma to subscribe to this channel. And if you want to be annoyed a little more by me and my videos, you also ring that damn bell down there, okay? And finally, yeah, subscribe to my email list to meet a lot of cool people and to sell your soul to the devil and to get some free stuff. That's all for today. I see you in hell, motherfuckers. I love you all. Bye-bye.